Each summer, musicians perform to crowds of people. In the winter, visitors have had an extra treat. This year, artist Andy Goldsworthy has been working on the Heath and using the things he finds around him to create unique pieces of art. Well, there's a show of his work on at the moment at the Ecology Centre in Covent Garden, but he continues to create more breathtaking natural sculptures out on the Heath. Lisa Davidson reports. Early morning on Hampstead Heath. It's cold and crisp, and the frosty winter colours are at their best. For one person, these are ideal conditions for his work, because it's these frozen leaves and twigs which are the basis of his art. We came upon Cumbrian-born artist Andy Goldsworthy knee-deep in icy water, using what nature has discarded to create his unique sculptures. How's it going, Andy?
I think it'll be okay. I'm just a bit anxious to get it made before the wind takes it all across to one side. But yeah, I'm quite pleased.
How long has it taken you to get this far?
Only about a couple of hours. When I came this morning, all of these were across this side, and they're this wonderful sort of golden orange colour, and I wanted to put a space in it, you know, just right in the middle of it. And so I'm working on that. And then I want this an orange golden hole.
For the past 6 weeks, Andy Goldsworthy has left the wilds of Dumfriesshire, where he now lives, to work on Hampstead Heath. Working in a public place, he can share his work and his appreciation of the outdoors with the public.
If you like the Heath, as I do, and you like all the things that are growing on it, to find somebody who's using them in a way that doesn't cut them down or anything, but just enhances them, I think it's marvelous. He's my sort of neighborhood resident artist now, and it's a joy to have him around. We'll miss him when he goes.
Andy has always worked outside, even as a student at Bradford Art College and later at Preston Polytechnic. It's because he only uses materials he finds around him that the environmental group Common Ground consider him the perfect artist to promote their own philosophy.
What Andy does is he creates around him, but he doesn't actually destroy what he's creating. He uses what is cast off in many ways, and he will never actually cut down a tree to make a sculpture. He'll use the prunings perhaps, or he sees beauty in what is there. And I think the most wonderful thing about Andy's work is that he makes us all see with new eyes. He makes us all look again.
Before the environment reclaims his art, Andy likes to sketch his creations and make notes about the weather, where he found the materials he used, and the place he's chosen. How long will it last?
I think as long as it doesn't get too windy, it'll last a couple of days before it starts sinking. But I don't think it'll last very long. As soon as we're gone, it only takes one dog to jump onto that.
How do you feel about that? It must be quite upsetting. I spent so much time doing it.
Well, you have to come to terms with that. It's a part of the nature of the Heath, the people and the dogs, the animals, and I have to treat them like the weather. I just have to come to terms with that, and often try and use them in what I'm making, and involve them in what I'm making.
These pictures are testimony of his talent, and indeed the basis of his exhibition in London. Only 4 miles from the centre of London, it's the sheer diversity of scenery that has inspired Andy, and his work is a constant surprise to those who simply fall upon it while walking in a favourite place. But more importantly, it's the way it blends into the environment from which it was taken that pleases and satisfies his admirers.
This is a box that uses the natural architecture of the leaf to determine the shape and structure, and actually gives it strength. And if you just feel that, you'll...
It's incredible, isn't it?
It's really interesting watching
So
people
light.
who come and see me. I tend to take them to the box which is tucked away, and then I give it them. I make them take the gloves off, and then they touch it. And once they touch it, they realise an awful lot more about it than when they were just looking. You know, they realise how it's hollow inside, and the weight and the structure and how strong it is. And that really is what my work does. That's the difference for me between looking and touching. When I touch, I understand.
This great heath has been Andy Goldsworthy's canvas for the last 6 weeks, and as he prepares to leave a place he regards now with love, he knows that it's not only wide open spaces, but also the common ground that are challenges for the future.